We just kind of let it record.
And we're live.
It's not too, and like I'm in my like workout shirt, so it's okay. This is just for our live blog of us creating this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I just need the notes on my phone. I think that you'll be able to see. Yay. We'll edit this part out. I don't know if we'll edit this part out. It's kind of fun. Here's the story I gotta tell. I have a new word that I like.
What is it?
Ephemeral.
Ephemeral?
Yeah.
Ephemeral.
Yeah, I mean short. I was like, oh, that was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. All right, so we got the My Mission slide.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our story. Mission. And then we talk about raising up the next generation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to tell a story that we have this audience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to take notes. I just want your eyeballs glued.
Heard.
Audience. Then we're going to draw like a circle. And then like probably a small circle and then a bigger circle. So we're going to do like the whole 80-20 split.
Mm-hmm.
Little snowman circle. So we're going to say this part's like leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
This part's the next generation. So we did this, we built our audience, and so this would be slide 1, this would be slide 2-ish. And then what we noticed from building the audience, the big takeaway is that they try and then reach out. So we don't need anything more than that thing. So what happens is I get emails from people that actually try the advice.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, I mean, we give advice, but like I didn't ever think of it as like we're giving lots of advice. But they'll actually try some of these things and then come back and tell us how they went.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's what some of the messages I get. It's actually, I get it a lot. They try it from the book, and they try it from stuff like that.
That's
like I'll just tell a story about how I did something,
Mm-hmm.
then they'll actually go try that story.
Oh, wow.
And then they come back and they tell me how it went. But nowhere in the book did I say to try the story. But that's how humans communicate, though,
Yeah.
right? If you hear some dude talking about, or some woman,
You
you hear someone talking about something,
try it.
yeah, you got to go see if it's real for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, on the other side of this audience, we have the guest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are the leaders that went from, you know, essentially like engineer or technical to leader. And what we hear from them is from the guests that have read the book,
Mm-hmm.
they say, I wish I would have read the book sooner because there were lessons in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the guests, they wish they had lessons sooner because they experienced this. So when they experience this, we feel like connected because they went through it and they had this experience, and then I'm writing about it and they're like, oh, I had that same experience.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the same experience on the same path from becoming engineers and technical people to leaders, and then they wish they had those lessons sooner.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we hear a lot about too. Like,
Okay.
we've gotten that feedback more than a handful of times.
Absolutely.
So we have that in my mind. And then us as giving value, if we're raising up the next generation, if that's like our why,
Mm-hmm.
then what we need to do is we need to get the lessons intentionally to the next generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the most effective way possible if
Mhm.
we're to do what we want to do and bring value. So put all this together. So now we have this mission of bringing these leadership lessons to the next generation in the best way possible.
Mhm.
Podcast is a great way to get people in the door and get their feet wet,
Yeah.
but it's not like a structured,
Sure.
repeatable thing.
Yeah.
So I went and started thinking about a few things, which always gets me interesting results. We delivered lessons to people. They become leaders. Yes. Generation people. Oh, okay. So this big part of the pie, they want to become leaders.
Mm-hmm.
We got to give lessons to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm like, what do we know that is true? So we go like little Elon Musk first principles here.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of first principles. We know that our accounting like shows how we spend resources. right?
Mm-hmm.
So your accounting as a business shows what you spend your money on. So your
Yeah.
business brings value to the market engaged with your business,
Mhm.
and your accounting is tracking how you're allocating the resources the market are giving you in
Mhm.
order to do your job better.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Well, if we have these leaders these pre-leaders, right,
Mm-hmm.
in our organization, let's look at my accounting, like in my past businesses and for the technology businesses that I had.
Mhm.
And let's see how much I spent on resources to make better leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like spend any money on it,
Okay.
which is kind of stupid because I'm like sitting here thinking about it. Okay, there's a bunch of people who want to be leaders. We resource them. They become leaders. You talk to the leaders who didn't have resources. They say they wish they did.
Mm-hmm.
If you give the next generation resources, they'll become better leaders faster.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm like, okay, well, now I need to be spending money on making my people better leaders.
Yeah.
And so you get organizations that are really big and they're collections of great, awesome leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to now encourage that.
Gotcha.
So we know that accounting shows our resources. We know I wasn't spending money on it. That's not really first principle, but it's part of the story.
Yeah.
And we also know that great companies, collection of great leaders. And we also know leaders grow companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 25 people at your company and you've got 3 leaders,
Mm-hmm.
and then you upped it and you had 8 leaders, that company's going to grow
Yeah.
because you have leaders.
Yeah.
Leaders grow companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we need more leaders
Yep.
at a company. All right. So then this is my part, the fun part about the graphic that I'm excited about is what we talked about the other
The
day.
expanded one.
It's like this grid system we're going to make.
Ooh.
Okay. So now I'm thinking backwards, like, okay, how do I make great leaders?
Yeah.
Where's my formula for great leaders?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so the first thing I did was look at all the products that were on the marketplace. Like, how do you currently make great leaders?
Yeah.
And so I asked around.
Mm.
Here's what I found. Books. Books is how you make great leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Give books to your employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else do we have? Video series. Speakers come in and talk. Video series. Some sort of formal training. Usually this is done in like an afternoon with a speaker or something.
Yeah.
It's not like a continuous thing.
Yeah.
And then, so I looked at that list. And then I looked at, let's see, how people learn.
Yeah.
So you got over here, like what's important to me in a new product. And then like, look, let's go over here and go like principles. So in principles of how people learn is I looked at psychology, like how we forget.
Yeah.
I learned about that, which is the 1-bit thing. And so the example of that is you watch a 30-minute lecture in 30 days. Remember the topic, one topic,
Yeah, the one topic.
and a few bullet points. And then at like 120 days, just the one topic.
Gotcha.
You don't engage with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. So that's different based on how you learn information. And then the second thing I learned, not only did I learn how we forget, but I learned how we remember. Like, what are the things we remember most,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's the experiences that we have. We remember experiences over data all day. So if I
Mhm.
tell you about leadership, great. If you
It's
go
gonna
experience
it,
leadership,
it's gonna stick.
you're going to remember it for a much longer period of time. So if we remember based on experiences, and then what else do we remember based on? Let me get this not go to sleep. Stories. So from anthropology,
Anthropology?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we walked around this planet for like 300,000 years without text. essentially.
Yeah.
And so we all told each other stories. Stories
Yeah.
about the rain gods, stories about the love gods. Like we told each other stories.
Yeah. Zeus.
That's how we got like everything.
Yeah.
The stories. So our brains are like historically wired. We've only had this data stuff in like the past like 1,000+ years. So we're wired for stories. That's why you remember stories. That's why people tell stories all the time. So, okay, if this is how we learn and this is how we forget, right? And then, let's see. Then I looked at product and what makes product like effective / sticky, right? What makes it sticky? Then I talked to Nair to find that out. He basically had everything distilled in one book called Hooked, which is really simple.
Really?
And it talks about like a reward system and surprises. Anyways, there's 4 points, but I'm not going to try to remember them. Nair?
Near?
Yeah.
Okay.
I call him Nair, but his name is Nair.
Near.
Yeah. My bad. It's just I see the NIR.
Yeah.
So it messes my head.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so like what makes good product, right? And well, obviously we'll put solves problem here. Problem. Oh, and then I didn't have a problem. But like, what's the problem? Right here, right? So here's what's the problem. Question mark. So the problem is a couple things. So the problem with the books, right? So I'll say one. Problem with the books is that if I recommend a book to you, if I say, hey, go read this book, How to Build Habit-Forming Products.
Yeah.
You go consume the book.
Yeah.
And in a book, there's going to be 10 to 12 lessons, which you're going to consume within 3 to 6 hours. And so of that, you're going to probably remember 2 to 3 lessons. Like if I were to ask you like the next day, what did you learn?
2 to 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3 the next day. And then of that, you have a 0 to 1 actually enact them.
Youch.
This is just true. Like I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about myself. Like, what are the problems with a book? Like, I read lots of books. My big problems is when I don't actually use the information. I don't remember it.
Remember it? Yeah.
You look at my Audible, like hundreds of books, like crazy amounts of books.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but the things I do remember, Nair's book, Hooked, because I'm going and trying it right now.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Right, and then I'm writing about my experiences. I'm reflecting on my experiences. So the problem with the book is that you don't remember much of it, unless if you do one. And if you do, you're going to do like one thing with it. And if I recommend you with a book and you even try one thing, I don't know what your experience was.
Yeah, there's no feedback.
Also, you'll continue, the ones you do pick, you'll get experience on. And then you'll layer your experience over time because you'll try them again and again if they have positive results. And there's nowhere for me to see how many times you've used this experience. Like, you might be really into Nair's Hooked thing because you've done it 4 times successfully. But like, I don't see your path of like knowledge stacking on that experience. I don't see your experience growing. So that's a problem with the book. The problem with the video series and the speakers. So number 2 would be all the things of the book, right?
Okay.
Because it's just a video series. So it's still the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they're, just like the book, they're temporary. They're like one-time things. Like you take the leadership video series and you learn 8 things and you'll take a quiz and like that's it. That's a leadership training. Life doesn't work like that.
No.
We need, and the way we learn is iterative over time.
So repetition.
That's the mother of skill.
Gotcha.
Mother of skill. Right? Over and over and over.
Same thing over and over again.
Just learning.
Yeah.
Experience. So you get the book, you get those problems. Now these are problems for me, right? Speakers, similar to the book and that. And then you've got the formal training, which is similar to all 4.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other ways too, right? But that's the at my level of business where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
These are the problems with it. So what I needed to solve the problem, I needed the ability for I needed an effective product. One that repeatable.
Mm.
Because these aren't like you're not repeating and stacking on these. So I needed a really effective product that people would keep going and using.
Gotcha.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a book's a pretty effective product because you just keep giving books to people
Yeah.
and they keep learning new things.
That's true.
But I also needed to track experience. What I was learning and whatever. Like what I was learning and how I was learning it. I also needed to be notified when I would forget. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I needed it to be small because 10 to 12 lessons doesn't make sense if I'm not going to remember them.
Yeah.
Why am I going to waste that time or spend that time reading that book if I'm not going to remember them?
Yeah.
It's like I liked so the argument for that, I guess, would be because you want to be around it a lot, like immersion. So that's good. But I needed something small, like a small practice, just to get my mind right, like 10 minutes. Because I like binge books, you know.
Yeah.
But like I needed like 10 minutes a day, like total experience, 10 minutes a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get my leadership. You know, it's like my run.
Yeah.
Get your mind in the right spot.
Yeah.
A little leadership practice. What am I going to practice today?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like your daily leadership quote or whatever. But so I needed that. And then what else did I need? Notify, track experience. And so I need it for myself. So myself and my team. The other problem was a path to leadership. So if we go back up to here and say, okay, I have all these great people who want to become leaders, right? And they're just in my company, and I start throwing books at them, I need a way to say, like, here, read this book and do something with it.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the chance to become a leader. But that's like very...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
it's not solid.
leader.
It's wet. It's a wet noodle.
Yeah. It
is. Ooh. Yeah, right? So you give it, it's like, here's a book. I don't know what you're learning from it. I don't know what you're experiencing.
Take it.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Do
about
something.
it. So I want to see the insights of what they're experiencing. Like, I want to see their experience. I want to see what they think about one of the lessons.
Yeah.
That way I know how ready they are to be a leader.
It
would also be cool if they carry out these exercises, they're actually practicing them in the company.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
See.
Yeah. So then, small practice, a path is what we need. Path to leadership with like a way to qualify them. I'm building like a dream system here, right? It's like this all sounds really great. You want an effective system where you can track people's experience. You can know when you're going to forget great lessons. A small practice for leadership.
Yeah.
A path so you can raise up your people to become great leaders. So you can grow your company. Like those are all the things I want in a system. So this is how we did LeaderBits.
Gotcha.
Right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. We looked at what we knew about products, what we knew about the current systems, what we knew about how we learn as people and how we forget as people, what we know about skill, right? And what we know about raising up people, and then what people are asking for. So, in this little chunk of whiteboard, this seems like a great business model, but the market will tell us that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how LeaderBits does this? If we got these points, we'll start with point. Oops, there's actually a sixth one. Oops. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Still learning how to count. Okay. So for number 1 of the problems, solution. Effective, we used hooked. Right? We used hooked principles. For number 2, we created a custom system, made an app system, we made our own technology to track experience. So we track, you watch the video, and then for number 4, it's a small practice, right?
Yeah.
3 and 4. 4 is a small practice. Well, and this is the heart of it. It's a 3 to 5 minute video with a 2 to 4 minute right exercise, which will gain experience. So we also had to look at the formula for experience.
Yeah.
Right? And so we did the experience formula too, but we'll put the experience formula somewhere else. And we'll put it experience. Formula. Knowledge. Plus action. Equals experience. So knowledge is not power. Knowledge is the potential of power. You can have a bunch of knowledge. There's a bunch of knowledge in a book. Hand you the book. Congratulations, you have a bunch of knowledge. You then convert that book into your head. Congratulations, that book is now in your head. You have a bunch of knowledge. You have 0 experience.
Yeah.
You have 0 experience. You might have leveraged their. You might read about their experience, but you personally don't have any actionable in this world experience, other than the one you monkey see, monkey do from them. So then you take action on it, and now that becomes experience, which is really real to you. So do the small practice, which is a video exercise where you actually gain experience, and you get for the hook thing, you're going to get points for this. So there's points and levels of mastery, but they go down as you don't, like if you learn like make people feel heard, you're gaining points with it, you're trying it out, and you're gaining experience with it. Then you stop for months. The level's going to start to drop. It's going to be notifying you. Now, the other thing is we don't want to log in. It's like no login. Because, like, we don't need another place to go and mess around with. So the entire system is used with, you don't need to log in.
Oh.
Yeah, so we send an email of the leader bit. We email the leader bit.
Yeah.
The person sees it. Your team member sees it.
Yeah.
All the links have, like, off links in them. So you click on the video, you get automatically logged in. You never even have to set an original password. You can if you want, but like you don't have to. And then your reports get emailed to you. So it's email driven.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah, you don't even have to log in.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to go to. It's something that's always coming at you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we'll set preferences and stuff so people can say how much of this experience they want.
Yeah.
Like really easily. Like they want to increase it or decrease it. We'll make those buttons that are like really simple in the email. Like increase activity, decrease. You do a lot of stuff there.
That's cool.
So that you don't have to log into the system. No one does. Not the managers or anyone.
Ah.
Yeah. You can literally use this entire system without ever logging in. You just send me an email of everyone's email.
Yeah.
I will set it up.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then number 3 would be notified when you forget. That goes into the notifications. So that would be our app system too. Emails. So we'll actually say if something was like really important to you, you really liked it, or even if it wasn't, and you have your settings this way, it'll just say, hey, you're going to forget the experience you had. And it'll actually send that in the email. You're going to see the experience you had.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Because you wrote it down after you watched it. And so it's going to reinforce that thing, which as we know from science is going to fire those brain synapses and then grow it. And we're going to remember it then. Be pretty nice. It's like going back through an old photo album.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, man, I remember
that story.
Yeah. I remember how I made people feel heard, right?
Yeah.
And so what this will do is you'll actually be able to see, like, oh, now here's the thing. Not everyone's going to use this.
Yeah.
Like, let's say if you have 20 people, my expectation is that 3 to 5 of them will use it, and 2, 3 of them will consistently use it. But you'll be able to see, you know, Mary, John, Zach, Sandra. You'll be able to see like how far they're progressing and what they know.
Yep.
And you can drill into it. You can actually see the story that like Zach has on making people feel heard.
Yeah.
And then you can decide as the leader if that's how far along one individual is. And then there's like levels of mastery, so you can see the engagement. Like maybe they're level 1, 2, 3. So like you'll be able to see everything.
Yeah.
See the number of points. And again, this is all going to be emailed to you, you know, every couple of weeks or whatever you set your preferences to.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to be like in there messing with it all the time. You can literally just forget that you have the system, never log into it, and it'll still be bringing you value.
Nice.
All right? Sometimes it's not right for the person. Maybe they're not into it that day. They ignore the lesson that day.
Yeah.
The next one just comes along when it comes along. The important thing is right now, they don't have that happening.
Yeah.
They don't have that potential for leadership with, that's probably really loud on the video.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
I don't care. They care probably.
They care probably.
So that's it. This is how the LeaderBits works and the mission. And now we have to take this and wrap it into a 3 to 5 minute presentation.
Heard.
To not annoy people, because me explaining it here for the first time was 25 minutes. So we have to have slides that tell this entire story.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're probably going to reorder some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like small practice is going to be the first one.
Yeah.
On this story. So we could probably make, this is obviously a slide.
Mm-hmm.
I need a different color. So this is a slide. Is this one slide or 2 slides?
That's the backstory, right? We could get the leaders and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make that. I would say one slide, but it's going to be a larger slide.
Well, they're all going to be the same size.
Oh, okay. Then I would...
Because they have to be the same size.
Let's say one for now.
Let's make it all one, but
Yep.
let's just figure out how to space the item.
Just space them so it looks correct.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we'll have like little script along with it,
Mm-hmm.
like what we say and how we say it. Then I think that we should just make this number 3,
Okay.
like all of this number 3.
Yeah.
Because I think rather than like, we'll just briefly touch on the first principles
Mm-hmm.
and more go into this like,
Let's go into that, because that's where the problem and solution is.
this is like the value.
Mm-hmm.
First principles was cool, but this is the value.
That's the boom.
Yeah. So we need the order for these that we're going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then in here, we have to work this in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then on the last screen, we go through the, let's see, how we learn and the problems and the effectiveness and everything. We'll just have to get it down to one screen. But then the next screen should be like how we solve the problems, or what should we say this is the problem, this is how we solved it to get through this screen?
That's what I was thinking originally.
Okay. So we have to identify the problem, solution, and this is how we'll cover the content.
Yeah.
Problem, solution, and then in that I will throw in these little nuggets, right?
Yeah.
If we say this is if the problem is that we need an effective, repeatable system, or the problem is that books. What? Here are the problems. This is a good problem.
There's a problem.
This is a good problem. And then tell this story, and we'll just say that they all have the same problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. So we'll all group them into one.
Yeah. So they'll all be grouped into one, and then we'll say these are the like I looked at all the current ways. These are current ways. And then I'll say these are all the current ways. And then here's what all the problems are with the ways, like why I don't like these ways.
Yeah.
Because then that's just one simple discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we'll say is we'll mix this stuff in verbally.
Okay. Yeah. We'll put those as side notes.
Yeah. We'll put my side notes. This is the problem.
So it's like a problem solution slide. Like this is what's wrong. This is how
this is all.
This is what's wrong.
Yeah, this is all one slide.
Yeah. I got that.
Yeah.
I was just reassuring.
Yeah. And then when the no logins would go with like the effectiveness.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy mail. The forgetting, so no logins would go with effectiveness. The near stuff will go in with the effectiveness. That's effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And the effectiveness and tracking stuff and notifying and all of these things are in the app, but I don't know how to do that. But you'll figure it out if you're smart.
Yeah.
So you'll figure out how to structure it,
Mm.
and then that's a really simple explanation. On the next screen, we should definitely, like, somewhere you could put this if you wanted. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. On the 4th slide, I'm just, for some reason, I feel like some of this stuff should be like on a 4th slide, where we kind of explain this whole point system. Or maybe I just mention it again. Maybe the problem is this, and there's 3 bullet points, right? The problem is effectiveness. How do we solve effectiveness?
With all that, yeah.
Yeah. I did really, and if we can work it in, it's great. If not, we don't have to. But I did really like how those slides look that are like, have you ever seen like the comparison grids where it's like item and then it's like check and like X and like check?
Yeah.
Like X and then check and then X. I would like for us to do current methods. That would be the easiest way.
Okay.
Which would be books, video series.
Speakers.
Just do one.
Formal training. Okay.
Yeah, just do one, like all the current methods versus LeaderBits. And the idea here is that LeaderBits would have all the check marks.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we need these categories to be the
ones that make
like
LeaderBits.
continuous would be effective, measurement, fast, right? Ephemeral, right? I finally think it means like fast. Going away soon. So we do fast, and then we do a path, and like see experience, like visualize experience. Have a path, be fast, usable, right? Continuous, measurable, fast, which is like usable. Like structured how we learn, like how we learn, remind, like / scale experience, right? They kind of go with those. I get a little bit repetitive, but we want like a bunch of X's, like the current ways don't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
And then we want for ours like a bunch of check marks they do. And I also want on here like having like your own department, maybe. Because, we'll forget that. That's just too much. Because we need to keep it under 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just keep it really simple. My mission, here's our audience and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yep. And then the problem solution.
Our problem solution. And then this. And so we do 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. We'll do a structure by like 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. 2.5 minutes. Then we have, that's 3.5, 4, 5, 2 minutes. And
2.5, 4.5, 5.5 minutes.
I know. I know.
Do you think you can spend 1 minute on the audience thing?
Yes.
On the why we're doing it?
Yes.
Because I think you got through that pretty quickly.
Yes.
This is the whole.
This is 3 minutes.
The problem's all. Yes.
3, 4, 5.
Yep, nailed it.
Okay. And then the last one would be asking them to join us. So we need that slide. So we'll have to just talk about it here. But join us.
Yeah, we can do. We'll do that. The grid.
Yeah.
And the point system.
Yeah.
We could do that if you want to. And then next step they'll be like, looks great. Come join us.
Yeah.
I think that could work.
You could do this kind of like this one, and this one has extra bonus slides.
Gotcha. Just in case you have time, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to know what works best. We're going to need to try some things.
Okay.
But if we make this graphic, we can also share it online.
Yeah.
If we make this, we can also share it
online.
And then this is a requirement because it's like our.
That's the holy grail.
Yeah. So congratulations, you already have slide number 1 done.
Yay! I'm ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
All
right. So how are you going to do this? You do this fast.
Yeah, fast.
Fast.
What do you want it done tomorrow or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's 4:36. So.
I know. It's like I don't think I can do it in 24 minutes.
No. but you have this.
I get a big chunk done tomorrow.
You have the entire recording of this right here.
Perfect.
Because now you can. There's no questions. You can even just scrub to the end and watch the end. You can scrub to any section you want, and